Hello and welcome. This video is about the money trap. I'm Jillian Hawley. Thanks so much for being here. And if you don't know me, I'm an author, intuitive healer, and coach, and I help people create lives on their terms. I call it creating like you mean it. And I teach tools related to kinetic divination, which is a healing methodology that I created because nothing else was working. So if you're interested in manifesting, conscious creation, and healing those pesky little painful things that happen in our body, mind, and emotions in order for you to create a joyous and fulfilling life, then stick around for these videos. Today, we're talking about the money trap. This is a hack that when I implemented it, I created such ease of mind. And when I teach this to my clients, I've had people email me back, message me back and say, hey, after those 2 sessions, I had a 30K day out of nowhere, right? I had a client that won $80,000 from a lottery win. I've had other clients reach their goal of 200K months, 500K months. And this tool, I hope, will be something that you can implement easily and see fantastic results from. So let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen. It's interesting because when I have clients that want to manifest or change their lives, consciously create something, actualize or materialize something specific in their lives, there are a lot of things that manifest very, very easily. That free cup of coffee, the text from a specific person, the best parking spot at your mall or grocery store. A lot of these things can manifest so easily because we don't have this trap. And this trap is pertaining to fear. Now, there are other layers, which I'll go into deeper in other videos. But the first thing that we want to look at when we're desiring to actualize, experience an increase in money, increase in finances, we want to look at this fear component. And I call it a trap because it's tricky. It has different layers to it. If we look at these different layers, one of the layers is our mind. These are the programs, the thoughts, the rules, the judgment, the expectations, the conclusions that we have that are continuously running in our mind. I call all of these stories, right? It's easier for me to say, hey, do you have a story around that than going, okay, is that a thought? Is that a rule? Is that a program? Is that, an expectation? Is that an interpretation, right? There's so many different things that could be going on. But when we just say, hey, is there a story that is keeping that thing away from you? Then you'll know what I mean, right? So in our mind, we have all of these stories that could be resisting money because of fear. Now, I often tell the story of a couple years ago, I was talking to a neighbor and her daughter was outside playing around, and her daughter found a dime or a nickel or a quarter and came over to her mother and said, look, mommy, money. And my neighbor, her mother, hit her hand, knocked the money out of her hand and said, don't touch that. That's dirty. What do you think that little girl is going to grow up thinking about money, right? So when these things happen, when we have an event in our lives, and it doesn't have to be something as big as you're an adult, you have a business and you have to declare bankruptcy, or it's, you were robbed, you were mugged. It could be something small from a childhood experience. It could be you were in the store with a parent, you wanted something, and that parent said, no, you don't deserve that. You weren't good today. You didn't finish all of your dessert, so no, you're not getting that. You don't deserve it. Or, something from your childhood that has left a connection point, I call it. These connection points are from events in our past, and they actually connect to our body energetically and emotionally. And we're feeding them emotions and energy. We're running the stories in our mind, in our subconscious. Those stories help to protect us based on the fear of, wow, I don't want that to happen again. So when we're tuning into this money trap, I want you to, in a minute, I'm going to ask you to muscle test all of these. I want you just to take a minute and think about, do I have any stories running in the background around money that's causing fear? Fear of accepting, fear of receiving, fear of creating, fear of experiencing money. And take a breath. Allow that to come up to the surface. We'll go to the next one, which is the emotions that are running in our body that are generated based on these stories that our mind keeps playing in the background. Those emotions create and generate, add to our energetic field. The vibration that we sit in and emit dictates what things we experience in our reality. So if we go to the source, if we go to those stories in the mind, that changes those emotions, and that changes the energetic field that we're marinating all the time. Now, you may have done things like affirmations or mantras in the past, and you've thought, geez, if I just repeat this affirmation and mantra, that may change the energy, or may change the emotions, or the mental story or program that I have in the background. And it may not. And this may not because of the vibration that we have placed around that thing. So in this case, it's money. Whatever we are desiring to create or manifest, there's a vibration between us and that thing based on the stories that we tell ourselves, the stories that we have plugged into our unconscious, our subconscious. And that subconscious creates experiences that keeps us away from painful experiences, painful situations, and things that would cause or create fear, right? So if we think about the vibration between you and money, what would that feel like? Now, vibration is also important to think about, because I'm going to walk you through how to muscle test. Muscle testing has sometimes a bad rap because people often say to me, yeah, I tried muscle testing and it just doesn't work for me. It will work for you. The trick is to be in a state of either curiosity or above. Dr. David Hawkins talks about the map of consciousness in a lot of his work, his books. There's Power versus Force, which is a really beautiful book from and by Dr. David Hawkins. There's also a book called Levels of Energy that Frederick Dodson wrote, which is a phenomenal book that you should check out. So as we are thinking about muscle testing, I want you to just take a breath right now, come back to your body, which means bring your awareness to your body. Think about something, someplace, someone, sometime that you're grateful for. Could be anything at all, right? Could be a pencil. If you saw the movie The Secret, Dr. Joe Vitale said that he was homeless in, I think it was in Texas, either Dallas or Houston. I'm not quite sure which one. And he was really sad, depressed, frustrated. And he found a pencil and he began to be grateful for that pencil. And he says that gratitude began to change his life. So gratitude is a really beautiful feeling, but it's also a powerful emotion and vibration to be in. So when you're sitting in that beautiful feeling of gratitude, whatever it may be that you're grateful for, and now I want you to think of a whiteboard out in front of you. Now, this is how I muscle test. This is from Kinetic Divination. And this whiteboard, I'll go to this one first. The whiteboard has 0% on the left and 100% on the right. And you can begin to prime this if you've never done this before. Just play with it, be curious, be playful. Begin to prime the whiteboard with things that you know are true, like your correct first name, the favorite food or drink that you really love. Thinking about all these things that you know are true, saying, my name is, and see if you get a perception somewhere on the right side of this whiteboard. And you're just imagining this whiteboard out in front of you. It's imaginary. It's yours. No one else can see it. No one else can touch it. It's totally yours. So as you are filling this whiteboard with things that you know are true, you're just looking for some sort of perception over here. Now, if you're an empath, if you're a highly sensitive person, if you're an intuitive or higher up in the ethereal realms, then you will, gravitate toward this and you'll pick it up really easily and you'll probably see it really quickly. If you're not seeing it really quickly, ask yourself what that's creating for you. Take a breath, do that gratitude work again. And then I want you to spend some time with this and play with that. Maybe you're around someone and you don't feel like you can be as vulnerable as you want to be or could be doing this work. Maybe you feel like it's silly, and it's supposed to be silly. This is creation. This is conscious creation. It works best when you're silly and not analytical and not picking it apart and not focusing on what it isn't. This, if you allow it to be muscle testing in general, if you allow it, it could change your whole world. Because we look too much outside of ourselves for an answer. We are programmed to look outside of ourselves for the answer. What if you had a tool that allowed you to find the answers within yourself pertaining to you, your body, your awareness, your life, your mission, your goals, and any stories or resistance that's between you and your goal? What if you had a tool that allowed you to tap in and know with absolute clarity what is between you and your goal? Why isn't it manifesting? Why isn't this coming to pass? Why is it seemingly harder than it is for Sally or John or whoever else? This is muscle testing. Muscle testing gives you that tool. Only you can change your inner reality, which changes your outer reality. And muscle testing gives you the power to tune into your body as your subconscious mind. So that's my rant for the day. Thank you for listening. So as we are tuning into this whiteboard, you have 0 on the left, 100% on the right. You've been priming this with my name is, or my favorite food is, or I love tea, or I love coffee, or whatever else it is. And then you're going to do the opposite. You're going to lie to yourself. So I'm going to say, hey, my name's Bob. And I'll get an awareness somewhere over on the left side because my name is not Bob. If I say, oh, I'd love to eat an onion, just bite into an onion right now, I would get a 0 because I really do not like onions. Thinking about the fear of money. When you say, I have a fear of money, what percentage comes up for you? And you're going to think of, I don't think I can move that. You're going to think of that little orange ball going to the percentage. What percentage, or you can think of a dart, right? What percentage comes up when you say, I have a fear of money? And be honest with yourself. We're either not willing to really look at this stuff because it's painful, or because we don't have effective tools that will allow us to change the thing that we're looking at if it's not something that we want, if it's something that is dissatisfactory, creating pain in our lives or discomfort. Welcome to the tool that will do that for you. This is kinetic divination. So breathing into your body, coming back to that beautiful feeling of gratitude, and saying to your body, I fear money. I have a fear of money. What percentage comes up? And then you can write that down on a piece of paper. And then I want you to test the stories. Actually, let's start with my fear of money is connected to stories that I bought from other people. What comes up? What percentage do you get? Because truly, if we were the conscious creator of our realities, if we were born into the little baby body we were born into, and we lived our lives with all the good things, the good programs, the good rules, like don't touch the stove when it's on. That's a good rule to have. Money is hard. Money doesn't grow on trees. You don't deserve that. You have to work, harder than you'd ever want to have to receive, create, experience money. All the things, right? Like what's your name your poison. You can comment down below, a money rule or story or program that has limited your receiving of it. And then I want you to get that percentage. This fear of money is based on stories that I bought from other people. What percentage is that? And then tell your body, I eject that energy that could be contributing to this fear. I eject mom's energy. I eject dad's energy. I eject your sibling or siblings. Eject all that energy from other people. And then what percentage do you get? And then I want you to flip into the positive and check in with, it's safe for me to create money. It's safe for me to receive money. It's safe for me to experience money. And what percentage do you get? Share with me below. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. I'll do more videos like this. And if you want to work more closely with me to shift these money beliefs and these rules and these stories on a deeper level, then check out my everything page or message me, send me a DM on Facebook. I have classes coming up around money. There's one this week that is called the Body Love class. And we get stuff trapped in our bodies. So it's hard for us to create because we have all of these stories and emotions and energy that's getting in the way of creating and receiving and experiencing what we want. So Body Love is coming up, and past Body Love, I'll be doing money classes and pop-up classes and courses. Check out my website, jillianholly.ca, or send me a message. And I'd love to see you on our next class. Thank you so much for watching this. Don't forget to go create like you mean it. I'm Jillian Holly. See you next time. Bye for now.